So we'll start with the second presentation. It's powering AI capabilities with API management and OpenAI APA by Bobur. So you have a presentation here?
Yeah, thank you for coming and joining. I'm also one of the colleagues of Nicola, as you saw, right? I was holding the microphone, now doing another job. My talk is about how you can power your AI capabilities by using the same API management or API gateway solution using also OpenAI API. First of all, I think Nicola already introduced me, but give me some time also to introduce myself, right? My name is Bobur. It means tiger in English. And the last name can be translated as live more. It means tiger who can live longer in the life. You can call me Bobur or tiger. Please reach out to me on these social channels. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer regarding session. What is the agenda is about? Nicola already had this brief description, what's Apache API 6. I'm going to explain what's the API gateway in general, right? And some concepts, cross-cutting concept. I'm going to introduce you and some use cases, how you can leverage API gateway to enhance your OpenAI API. First, my question is to you guys, how many of you have already used OpenAI API? You 3, 4, nobody? Like ChatGPT? Who is ChatGPT? You use, okay. Okay, because it's a booming topic, right? Everybody's talking about the ChatGPT, OpenAI. So, and also APIs. We know that the APIs, just the 3 letters, stands for what is the acronym? Application Programming Interface. Who doesn't know what's API? After Nicola's talk, everybody knows, of course. It's great. And even ChatGPT uses API, right? Because it can call REST APIs to collect some data generated from AI, right? And also nowadays, after ChatGPT introduced some plugins, you can create your custom plugins to connect to your APIs, right? AI can do some job for you. That's the topic is about also. And we know that success of your APIs depends on 3 indicators. So it should be performance enough. It should be integratable, right, with other products, and should be available 100% of the time. Next question I have, how to achieve these 3 indicators of success to make your API really cool? Any idea? So to make it these 3 indicators successful, in my mind, using API gateway. So once again, so I will explain why. Because in today's world, we are building multiple services, or we call it microservices, serverless APIs to expose some functionality for the particular product, right? And these product users should consume functionality from more than one microservice. As you can see in this picture, API gateway acts as an entry point where it can route all the incoming requests from the client applications. Client application can be web app, mobile app, desktop app, right? And then this request will be forwarded to some backend services. Backend services can be REST, GraphQL, gRPC, database, or maybe third-party services. So now you know what's the API gateway. Raise your hand now who doesn't know API gateway yet. Everybody knows? Everybody's smart. Great, yes. Once we know what's the API gateway, now it's time to a little bit talk about plugins, because plugins just additional components that you can put and install into API gateway to add extra power, functionalities, right? You can enable authentication. You can enable some security features, or you can control your traffic, or you can absorb your APIs, as Nicola showed, like how you can use Grafana, or how you can use Prometheus to learn your metrics, right? And so this is about plugins, and actually we are today presenting one of the open source API gateway solution under Apache Foundation. Maybe you are already part of this community. Now, next question is, who is already committing or contributing to Apache software solutions like open source projects? Kafka? Cassandra? Nobody? Nobody using Kafka? Okay, yeah, some people using Kafka. Yeah, because Kafka is famous, right? You can also assume that API6 one of the fastest growing open source project, because what actually personally I like, not because I'm advocating for this product, but because it has custom plugin development. As not only Lua, you can use your other skills. Maybe you have favorite programming language like a Java. You are familiar with maybe Python, JavaScript. You can use some plugin runners to write your own plugin if existing plugins are not enough to meet your business requirements. That's what I like. Another feature I like, if you are not like to write a code, you can use a dashboard with a low-code environment. Like you can put multiple plugins together, or to build some new plugin. Like you can compose one or multiple plugin and create new plugin and put some conditions on this dashboard. That's the API6 dashboard for community members. Like it's for free. You can also contribute, like to build more complex stuff using dashboard without writing any code. So custom plugin development and also dashboard, right? And now let's jump back to what's the OpenAI API, right? As we did, as we said, like it's just the features, it makes available the features of OpenAI to throw the REST APIs, right? So next is what we can do with OpenAI API. Who use it? Because some people use it. We can generate some texts, right? We can ask, for example, some product. Please explain me, hey, AI, what's the Apple Pro? It can explain, right? It can answer your questions. And also it can complete your code now. If you're using GitHub Copilot, you don't have to write anything. It can also find some bugs on your code, or it can even generate some images from existing images or from the text. You can ask AI, hey, AI, I want this image. Please generate for me, right? This is how the AI is now changing our world and also replacing some positions, right, in the market. And what are the benefits of now API gateway while integrating OpenAI API? First of all is, I would say, is performance, because when you're asking AI, you need to pay for it, right? You need to pay for Microsoft or for Microsoft solutions. Or if it's in the cloud, you need to pay for the cloud. Sometimes there are repeatable requests to AI. You don't have to repeat. You can use caching capabilities. That's API gateway provides. You can put the caching in the front, like it can cache a response. Next time, response will come fast and for cheaper. And the security next in my list is you don't have to write any code. You can just enable the plugin to make it work like JWT plugin. Like, for example, like how you do now authentication. Like you need to write some custom code in Java, or you can use Spring Framework if you're a Java developer, right? In this case, security feature is offered by API Gateway out of the box. And other features like as we listed here, like rate limiting, transformation. You can transform from a REST call to gRPC if you're using gRPC, or vice versa. Let's say if you have multiple microservices. So in this case now for the demo, because we have some theoretical knowledge now, we know what's API gateway, we know what is API, we know what's OpenAI API. So in my demo, I want to show you how you can build our own API that uses OpenAI capabilities and adds some cross-cutting functions. Like I can use API gateway, call it API6, to route my requests to the AI, because I can enable authentication. I can put some limitations on the requests. So, and then I can monetize my API, right? After creating my application. The idea behind this, I want to build small, tiny one endpoint that call it slash OpenAI slash product slash description under my own custom domain website. Like you have a website and you are exposing one API, right? My website domain.com can be yours, your website. And it calls actually realai.com completion endpoint to complete some actions. If I ask product name, it should provide what's the product about. I can ask what's the Windows 11, it explains what's in Windows 11, right? So is it clear, the scenario, what I want to achieve? Yeah, great. Is it clear also why we need this here API gateway in the middle? Right. So good, nice. Because API gateway now connects with AI API through the endpoint also and use token, but here it's very secure, but not secure between client apps and API 6. That's what we are going to introduce now and secure our connection. So, and here also you can find the written format of this demo, or you can scan this QR code to find out the source code on GitHub. You can try, because we are limited on time, but there are a lot of step-by-step actions you can take to finish end-to-end kind of solution. You can just scan it. We have still some time. So good. Now we can do some demo. So who gonna help me? Nicola or you? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Maybe we can take two microphones, like one he's holding or something. Good, thank you. So the final result, let me first show you the final result. I think it explains final result. What I did, I built some application, mobile application, and using Power Apps, Microsoft Power Apps, you can use other UIs. It looks like this. It has a single page, call it like with one static page. It takes as input model name, which model name you would like to use for OpenAI API, and you can provide the product name and how many characters you want to get as a response. This mobile applications works together with API 6 and gets some data from AI. I'm also representing now Power Apps now. So let me show you here what's going on. Yeah, I just put some components together, right? And if I press run, you can see this product viewer. You can type anything, like I'm asking, provide please a description for Apple sorting. What's the Apple sorting? And then if you press generate, it will generate some data as output. Here we go. As you can see, it's explaining actually what's Apple Pro. And now what's gonna happen next, we are going to understand what's going on behind the scene. Like this mobile application first connecting to Apache API 6, and Apache API 6 actually integrating with AI, right? Here we go. Can you hold a bit below? Yeah, yes, thank you. And now it's good. You can find the source code here. As you can see, there are some curl commands here under this folder. So you can just try step by step, starting from registering your backend server, routing, and also caching, adding some consumers for your APIs. So let's get started from here. I'm opening my favorite editor. In my case is VS Code. You can use IntelliJ, all right? And then I'm also using Docker and plus Docker Compose to bring all necessary the services I need. It's very straightforward. Again, also I'm using Windows and I have Docker Desktop installed on my Windows machine. As you can see, all these containers up and running. API 6, Prometheus, Dashboard, Grafana, all the necessary containers for API 6. So first of all, this is a curl command example. What it does, it doesn't use API gateway now. If you connect to this without API gateway, you need to use your token, like authorization token, right? And then I'm asking some text, provide me Apple Pro description on this API. Let's do without API gateway, this is direct call to AI, completion endpoint. So if I go to terminal, maybe open new terminal here and put it here. It takes some time because the Wi-Fi connection and AI need to generate some data. So now here we go. You see now I am making curl command to completion endpoint and getting some response. like Apple Pro, blah, blah, perfect laptop, and so on. And now it's time to introduce here API Gateway. How I can introduce, as Nicola also explained it, right? We need to first register our backend service through the admin API of API6, or you can use a dashboard, or you can use Postman, Insomnia. What's your favorite approach? Like, we are using Coral because I'm not lazy developer, so I'm doing these Coral commands. Next step you do, I am creating new upstream, fully new, and also registering one new node, which is openai.com, right? You can have multiple nodes in case you want to have more scale, available the service. Let me create one upstream by hitting the OpenAI, API Gateway admin API. So here we go. Now we created, we said like, okay, please register my backend service for OpenAI. And use a schema type of HTTPS because of security connection. You can also enable some SSL, certificate-based connection to OpenAI API. This is also possible. Just the simplicity is using HTTPS. And next step is, step number 2 is registering your plugin, which plugin you would like to use. I want to use the plugin called proxy rewrite. Why? Because I need to set some headers, because OpenAI API asks for the token, right, to authenticate. So I am putting some headers to set my token and specifying what kind of contents I am sending. So whenever you do request to API Gateway puts these headers and forwards request to the OpenAI API. So you can configure your plugin through the plugin config or through the route. So let me also run this Coral command. So here you go. And I did step number 2, right? And then the next step is, which is the final step to make this connection between API Gateway and AI, is to creating route. So we created upstream, a registered plugin, and route. So in the route configuration, I'm declaring new URI, like a /product/description. And I'm saying to API Gateway, please intercept all the post requests and forward them to the upstream service, which is AI, and use plugin config. Use this plugin while you're doing, okay? Step number 3, creating the route. Now, I will quickly create this route. I hope I have still some time, right? How many minutes I have? 10, okay, we will have still time. At least we can show something. So we created the route, and the last step is now I can test. Step number 4, like at the beginning I did the direct Coral command, right? I accessed the AI directly. Now I can access through the API Gateway by custom URL I have, right? You see, it's /OpenAI product description, but at the beginning URI was like this, like completions endpoint. Now API Gateway is actually controlling the work and managing my traffic. If I do start to test this, how it works, here we go. Now API Gateway receives the request and forwards to the AI and gets back the response from AI. Of course, it's a little bit the latency in the middle because of the connections and so on. You see, I got the same response. From now on, everything's set up, and I can add all the functionalities, features that API Gateway offers, right? I can use the power of both API Gateway and AI now. What I can do, I can, for example, first make some secure connection by registering my consumer, because maybe it's a useful tool, right? Mobile application or API, like everybody can ask something, answer something. Because, for example, I can ask, please provide me food. I want to prepare something for dinner. And you can ask how to prepare. And it can provide you ingredients, steps, right? AI. This is the same solution, but sometimes you want to sell this new product, right? You don't want to create a free product. So to do so, you can create, for example, some consumers. You can put some regulations, some limitations, like consumer number 1 can use only like 100 requests per second or per millisecond and so on. So next step, I'm gonna create a new consumer. It's by using the consumer endpoint of API 6. I'm just using basic authentication of this API gateway, like providing username and password. So now, after I enable this step, my API will be accessible only for authenticated users, not everyone else. Because everyone else, I mean, I was able to do a request without any authentication in the above press. So now I can enable this authentication plugin also for the plugin config, right? Because I'm introducing new plugin, second plugin actually in my list. So here you go. And now if I try to request once again my API, I will get, of course, error. There we go. Let's try. You see, missing now authorization of the request because now I need to authorize. I need to use username or password to authenticate. So let's try with some authentication process. So let me find this. We can use, for example, here. Nicola can help me. -u. How I can set Carol command username and password? No. -u, username, 1, right? And password, 1. Let me first check it. Like, yeah, username and, okay. I'm just checking if it's correct, like username and password. I did for API Gateway. Now it's correct? Everybody agree? Okay. Now I'm actually sending some authorization in the request, right? And I think it should work. So now API Gateway allows me to use because I have a consumer. There we go. And that's about like how everything starts. Now you see I'm not writing any code, just using some Coral commas. Yes, we did. Here I got from AI some solution. As you can see, also some headers, additional headers API Gateway is introducing, like rate limiting, how many limits my user has, and so on. So with that, we can finish. I let you complete other steps if you want. Like you can just find the source code, follow step-by-step Coral commands to achieve more sort of caching, sort of like traffic control, right? So let me jump back to last things, like takeaways from what I explained for today. So thank you, and now I can handle. Thank you, Nicola. So takeaways. Use API management solution that you are familiar, or maybe you are now familiar about API 6, or actually you can use other API gateway providers. It's up to you, choose. Use it to control your API traffic, like whether it is AI traffic or other APIs. And also you can use some API gateway basics. You need to learn like upstream, what's the road, what's the plugin, right? And you can install some plugins, starting from proxy caching we did, or you can use some authentication plugins. And also you can manage your API consumers by using API Gateway. That's the takeaways from my slides. So now we can leave some time for questions. I hope we do have still. Any questions? I have a T-shirt for those who are gonna ask question. Like this. Now, yes. Sure. Yeah. Here you go. After I will have someone. We will check your size. Any question? Yeah. 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 Nice question. Yeah, nice question. The colleague is asking about how we can do monetization on API gateway side, right? Because we know that AI, OpenAI APIs, they already have this monetization. If you create your new account, it will give you 18 USD dollars for free. But if you are overused 18 USD dollars, you need to pay for AI. But on API management side, you can control your monetization structure. I mean, you can. It depends on you how you want to monetize which model you want to choose. For example, pay as you go. You can also specify users can use as they want, but they need to pay like per usage or monthly subscription. So does it answer your questions? Partially, fully, yeah. 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 Right. Caching is for free. I mean, it's just a feature of API 6. Yeah, you can use caching just by adding, enabling plugin, additional plugin, and you can specify where you want to cache this data and how much data big limitations you have. It's for free, like because you're going to deploy your API 6 instance in your server, right? So it's not an issue, or in the cloud. Yeah. Yeah. Great. Thank you. Any other questions? You got a T-shirt one. And if no any questions, I have some free stuff also there. It's from community, API 6 community, some swags like stickers, as you can see here, and also here the chocolate. Actually, I made it myself. It's Estonian chocolate. I'm based in Tallinn, Estonia. There is a chocolate factory called Calif, which is very famous, and the chocolate also very sweet. With a sticker, you can just give it a try. So everything's for you. It's from community, not from company. So thank you. Thank you. I think we can finish.